So guys, hi, welcome to our interaction. First of all, congratulations for making it to IIM Calcutta, one of the Holy Trinity, and my personal favorite because I myself am from Calcutta. So I think you guys have made the most out of CAT and your GDPR preparation. And always remember that C will always be better than A and B. So that's that. And that's actually a part of your induction program where you have to say that C is greater than A plus B. So, Krishnendu, hi. Will you be switching on the camera?
Hi, sir.
Hello, hello, and congratulations, Krishnendu.
Thank you.
So, guys, why don't you just give a quick introduction about yourself, your name, and your work ex, if you have any, your college, how much did you get in CAT, and your general experience?
I'll start now.
Yeah, sure.
So my name is Steve. I graduated in 2019, and I did my undergraduation in statistics from St. Xavier's, Mumbai. Then I started working toward in December 2019, and that was after my first attempt in CAT, where I scored a decent percentile. Then I've been working for roughly 18 months now, and that's how I've landed it.
Okay. How much was your CAT percentile?
First attempt.
No, this one.
This one I scored 99.92.
All right. See. Yeah, Pragya, you were going.
Yeah, so I graduated from UIET, College for Punjab University, from the batch of 2018. Since then, I've been working with United Health Group in the testing field, and this was my second attempt to CAT. The first one I failed badly, but this time I managed to do decently and score a 99.57.
All right, Pragya. So where are you working? Where were you working rather?
So I was. Oh,
No, I'm sorry. Go on.
Okay. Yeah, I was working at Optum, a part of United Health Group.
Okay. All right. So next, I think Medha, would you like to go?
Yes, sir. So I graduated from Crudimel College last year only, and I've done maths honors. I'm a fresher, and I scored 99.62 in my CAT this time.
Okay. Thanks, Medha. Krishnendu?
Hi, all. I've graduated from College of Engineering, Trivandrum, 2018 batch. Since then, I've been working with an asset management firm, Investnet Inc., and this is my first attempt at CAT, and I scored 97.52.
All right. Good, yeah. One common theme I can see here is all of you have a inclination towards maths. So Steve has been with stats and Medha maths honors, and Pragya, you're an engineer, right?
Yeah, electrical engineer.
Yeah, and Krishnendu is working in finance. So that's the common theme in Calcutta. You'll see that they're very much inclined towards mathematics, and I feel like 4 out of 4 are good people, qualified people in quants. You'd have good scores in maths. So that's you can say a challenge, but yeah, you'll face that in Calcutta. So be ready, guys. So stats, it's a very stats heavy course. So it will be good. You'll enjoy. So yeah, thank you for introduction and how are you feeling? How do you how have you been after getting the results? Like, did you have a convert pehle and or is this your biggest convert? I mean, this is your biggest convert, of course.
So I'm still letting it sink in. Like for 1 week, I'm like, I'll just let it sink in. I had a convert, like I had a waitlist of 24 and I'm code. So I knew that I'll convert it, but I was just really waiting for Calcutta's result. And thankfully converted it. I've been happy, ecstatic after.
Steve will be happy to see the gender diversity here. So he's the only male and 3 females.
Yeah, that's very surprising because in our batch we were not ज़्यादा लड़कियां नहीं होती थी because again I don't know why, but few females choose engineering and C has given weightage to CAT, and in CAT, generally engineers are the ones who score a lot in quant. So that helps their cause. So yeah, the gender diversity they have been focusing a lot. So Steve, congratulations,
I think the
and it will help.
ratio is the ratio is good here in prep zone. I don't think it's there in Calcutta. Prep
Okay,
zone में ratio अच्छा है. Calcutta में I don't think it's the same thing.
no, but it is definitely required
Better, yeah, it's been.
because it brings in that viewpoint, and that's really important because everywhere you go it's 50-50 male female, so it helps to have more female on campus because you understand their issues and their viewpoints. So that is really really important, and especially in these times. So yeah, uh, so let me set the agenda how we'll go about this. So we'll first discuss that how was your CAT preparation, and then how was your GDPR preparation, and how prep zone helped you in either your CAT or in your GDPR or with both, and what are your future plans with respect to your MBA, and again what would you like to say to the incoming batch. So this is the agenda for the day. So yeah, so if any one of you would like to go, that how did you start preparing for CAT, how did you decide ki CAT karna hai, and how did you start preparing, and any tips and tricks you want to share.
So maybe I can start. So when I started working, before that I had already given a like 5-6 months short to gate preparation. Then after 5-6 months, I like interned in a electrical firm,
Okay.
and there I realized that okay, no, this is not something I want to do for the rest of my life. So I took a on-campus job, and when I went to a brand like UHG, it was like actually what we call exposure. So like to the clients and seeing such huge amount of business flowing through and everything. Then I worked the roles I was assigned, like basic support, testing, and then I looked around what these people in the cabins are doing and why are I sitting in the aisle. So I talked to a few managers and just take out of them what they're doing, checked on their profiles, and then I finally decided, okay, this is something I have to do. So there were two ways to it. So either work your like anything for 15 to 16 years in a particular firm and then get there, or just learn something, get a brand, and you are landing up there competing with them. So when I first attempt was my, I just gave 2 mocks and went for the exam to actually see what it is. So I scored somewhere around 88 or 87. And so I was like very much confident. Ki, okay, I have scored this with just mocks. Second attempt, I worked hard and I scored a 92. I was like, after so many months of preparation, and my verbal was somewhere around 62 percentile. So then I was about to take admission in a tier 2 college. Lockdown happened. I had a lot of free time, and I was like, no, you have already come from a normal college and now you need to go ahead. So lockdown helped in many things. Like the time we had at hand increased. Like although the work increased as well because we were in healthcare, but the time of travel, managing things when you live independently. So I just wrote down in a notebook where I failed, all the points, like for verbal also, all small topics. Okay, this failed, quant also, even the micro topics I have pointed out, and I filled around 3 to 4 pages with that. These you need to work on. And then I accepted my, like I accepted that I have a very bad vocabulary. So I did 2 to 3 times the Barron's list, word power made easy. And then I and then after that, yeah, slowly I was improving. I was scoring well in the time mocks, then the pattern changed. So I have been given mocks for like almost 1.5 years with like the 3 hour concept. And from a 95 percentile in the mocks, I started falling to around 75, 65. And then I doubled my time of studying, giving mocks, more structurized it. And I created daily dose for myself. Like I'm bad at verbal, okay, 4 RCs daily, one sectional daily. I'm not doing good at LRDI, one sectional daily, 4 sets daily. And this was like my no matter what happens in my day, I have to do it. and maybe that discipline helped me reach here. Because when I look back, the first time I was not disciplined. I was like, "ठीक है, मन कर लिया, okay, I'm studying." नहीं किया, I had a lot of work, I have to go out, I have to party with friends, I'm not studying. So that discipline and the time, it helped me a lot.
So very well said, Pragya, that you started with mocks, and first what you did was an analysis of where your strengths and where your weaknesses lie. You understood what your weaknesses were, and you worked upon them. So I think that's a very good and effective strategy to understand, so that you get maximum out of your preparation. And from what I heard, mocks, lot of mocks were there. So I feel that has been the general theme. We spoke with the people who made it to A, B, and now C. So that's what I've been getting, that mocks are really important. And good job, Pragya. But Pragya, one thing that I'd like to ask you, that how were you motivated? Because I remember when I gave my mock, I had scored a dismal 74 and I was very disheartened. मतलब एक हफ्ते तक I was not doing anything. In fact, I didn't go home that day after getting the result. So I was, मैंने college में देखा था, and I didn't go home. My parents got concerned. So, but how did you keep yourself motivated?
So one source of motivation was I looked at my play slip and then I looked at the placement reports, and like, this is a fact. So I looked at the placement reports of the campus. I'm like, okay, there's a big gap.
Yeah.
This needs to be bridged. Second, I have always been used to doing good in my class and doing like scoring good in acads, and I don't have any like as such particular hobbies or that way fancy things. So I was like, okay, this is the only thing which can help me cover all this, because I knew it very well that going forward I'll be questioned on my extracurriculars, my hobbies, and all that stuff. So that was the only one thing which kept me motivating. If anything can break this thing. And also many people told me in my face that people who score 99, they are different and you cannot score 99, so you should go for a tier 2 college. So to all those who are thinking of giving it another shot, it is worth it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll get back to that point, Pragya, but before that, if anybody else wants to discuss their story, that how did you go about CAT and CAT preparation? What was your strategy?
Sure, sir. So I'll go ahead. So first of all, I was pretty sure about giving CAT the moment I started my undergrad. I was sure that I was going for a master's education before I start working, and that is something that I realized after like talking to my cousins and everything. So and then it was all about weighing options. Ki MBA, is it MBA or is it a master's in economics or statistics? So then I landed upon MBA, and then I was very adamant कि भाई इस बारी तो I have to score very good, like a very high percentile. That was my main motivation. Even if I didn't think about joining a college so much, but it was more about acing CAT. So I started preparing. I started with 6 hours daily, then 8, then I started giving 10 to 12 hours daily. So as Pragya was talking discipline and everything, I didn't have a problem in that sense because I was very motivated to ace CAT. But somehow all that pressure, it kind of got to me, and I couldn't score as high as I was hoping to. I scored 98.6, around that. So I converted a few calls. I converted Mica, then I converted SIBM Pune. But somehow I was like, first of all, MBA was online. So that was another thing that I took into consideration while I was deciding. And then I was like, I still haven't given my best. I don't think this is my maximum potential. So when I started preparing the second time, I was sure I was not like, I knew that I prepared very well, the basics and question solving, everything was there, but I somehow forgot about the strategy part. And that is somewhere that I think engineers actually excel, because they are used to giving entrance tests. So they know that test taking part is sorted for them. For non-engineers, it's a bit different. We've never given entrance exams. So all we think about is, okay, chalo solve karna hai. We have to solve questions, and that's what we're thinking about. But now this time, since I knew better, so I was like, "Ki bhai, ab to I have to think about." So after every mock, I would take a step back. I'll be like, why did I perform well in this mock, and why couldn't I do the same thing in the other mock? Then I'd start understanding, maybe it's the question pattern, it's the type of questions, or maybe the chapters that they're asking questions from. So slowly I built that. And second year was just mainly mocks. I didn't have that much time. I was working as well. So it was just mainly mocks, mock. A lot of test taking, a lot of introspection, and a lot of uh, strategy building. Definitely, there were days that you would score really low. I remember 2 weeks before my actual CAT, I was scoring in single digits in DILR. It
Oh,
was that bad. And on my in my actual paper, I scored 99.8 percentile in DILR. I scored
nice.
very high. It was my best section. So definitely your parents, your friends, all of them come into part. My mainly I was just talking to my parents. My mother kept motivating me throughout. She's like, it's okay, even if you so another thing that I feel is kind of good to it's good to have a backup. Not a backup per se, but not just putting everything into that one exam because it's just one day.
Mm-hmm.
It can go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're 5 minutes late, maybe you're not well. So like chill out, then go ahead. Know that it's not the end of the world. You can give that again. You can give GMAT. There are a lot of exams after that. So that's very important when you're going for CAT.
Absolutely, Steve. So very well said, Steve, that mocks and analysis of mocks and that introspection is very important. So that helps you build your strategy for the final day because you do not know what the final day can throw up. And very well said that anything can happen on the D day. So it's very important that you stay calm and composed before your exam so that you don't screw up the actual thing. So for that, what I personally like used to do was used to give mocks only at the time of the actual CAT exam, like from 10 to 12. I used to try that so that the mind and body could sync up. So that was my strategy per se. So each person will have a different strategy. So these are only pointers what we are discussing that what worked for us. Definitely each person needs to have that introspection, understand what works for them, what doesn't work for them, work upon that part. And analysis, mocks analysis is something that is absolutely must. Very, very rightly said. So, but you come from a stats background, and Medha, you are from maths background. So, pretty, I would say, different from what we've seen. Usually, engineers are in bulk. So, what motivated you to take CAT, Medha? Like, you could have gone for a MSc or a PhD, or you could have gone abroad to study that. So, even for that matter, Steve, like you could have done a post grad in your field. So how did you decide कि CAT ही करना है?
So Medha would like to go since I've been speaking for so long. Like, if she wants to go, have a go at
Sure.
it.
Yeah. So basically, when in college, during the college, the major portion of my college was I was mainly involved in organizing events, uh, managing people, and I really liked it. Like I knew that okay, this is something I want to do, and later on, I realized that I like maths, but I was not so involved in it. Like I wanted to pursue it, and so that is why that's when I made up my mind. Ki, okay, I want to do MBA. So I started preparing for CAT. I started my CAT prep in May last year, and since lockdown helped me a lot, like the college and everything was quite halted for a while. Exams were postponed, so I had quite a time. So the my CAT prep was also quite a roller coaster. Like my mocks kept fluctuating. Uh, my it was LRDI was only something that was quite stable. I was like I was able to do 3 sets in every mock. Like I knew कि चलो LRDI मैं कर लूँगी. But
Mhm.
other than that, like my math concepts were good, but I kept doing silly mistakes or my speed fluctuated. But the only thing was like the belief that kept me going was like only the D-Day will matter. So I kept on my schedule of practicing. I tried various techniques to for the VRC. Like it was a complete trial and error for me. I kept on trying different methods. Like let's see which one will work. Like it wasn't working for me for a great time. But yeah, after a while, at last I finally could do it. So that what mattered at last.
Yeah. So another very good point is that make your mistakes in mocks.
Yeah,
Understand that what you are doing wrong in mocks itself, so that you don't do it on the main day. So you try out different strategies, you try out different attempts. Sometimes you give more time to one section, but then you realize that that's probably the wrong strategy. Then you fine tune that. So shuru ke 5-6 mocks initially will help you build that strategy, and then you understand what's working for you, and then you give another set of like 10-15 mocks and work upon improving your strategy, and that's what you implement in the last stages. So that's like a parabolic curve. I've seen that happens. So you want to be at the peak during the CAT exam. So that definitely helps. So guys, how would you say that? Okay, so I think CAT preparation we have decided and discussed. Just one last question around this, like Pragya and Steve, to both of you. You had converts, and Pragya, you also had a convert. So how did you decide that okay, we need to go for another attempt? Because you could have taken admissions, you could have started your MBA journey. So how did you decide to go for another attempt?
So first thing was the all the concept of online MBA, and that time everyone was hoping that down the line within 3-4 months everything will be back to normal. So I was like, okay, if I go for a tier 2 college, I will still have less chances of summer placements and less chances of student exchange and all that because of COVID. Second thing was I had a backup, and as Steve said also, backup is very important. So I had a decent job. And third thing was when I sat and realized that okay, this is the last degree probably I'm going to have, and
Hmm.
maybe this is not my best. So I just sat with a few of my mentors, discussed with them where I went wrong, and then I actually discussed with many people, took opinions, and many told that you should not go. But then other side of me was like, it's all about 1 year, and down the line I'll never have regret that I didn't give
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
best, and
Hmm.
I could have given another shot like I always had for JEE. Every engineer has, no matter which college you land up. अगर मैं एक साल कोटा चला जाता तो I would have gone to IIT. So I didn't want to have that kind of regret again in my life. Like, okay, it's all about 1 year. Even if this time I don't make up, then there's GMAT. I can switch my job, and I'm at a very better place than many others. Maybe like in
Hmm.
COVID, that gave it opened our minds that you have a decent job, your salary is coming, you have a family, you are good. So that made me okay. So no regrets in life. Just give it your best shot.
Absolutely. Yeah. So very, very fairly put that it's another year, but sometimes you don't have that leeway
Lux.
or luxury of another year.
Yeah.
So yeah, that worked for you, and that's very good. I'd just like to add to it that sometimes having your back to the wall also helps. So when you have like no other way out, so you only start punching your way up. So that also pushes you. So whatever be your motivation, Pragya very well put that you wanted the best for yourself, and you did not want to have that regret. That's really
Yeah.
important कि मतलब बाद में ये नहीं लगना चाहिए कि यार थोड़ा सा और मेहनत कर लिया होता तो शायद अच्छी जगह होते. You need to give your best. You need to have that motivation, right kind of motivation, right from the beginning, I would say. But even if it comes later on the stage, nothing wrong in that. So moving on from Cat, how
Just
much would you say?
I have
Yeah.
I have one
Hmm.
question from Steve. So Steve, you are coming from a like not very lot of people join these schools coming from St. Xavier's or the college of that sort or that reputation. So what have really motivated you, or what really have you thought regarding your career, or what was the whole thought process behind doing MBA?
Yeah, actually, it's very true. I don't know a lot of people who've joined who took CAT after my college from my college who've taken CAT. But so I was already sure that I'll go for masters. I was not very sure of taking up a job. And after the I saw the placement scenario in my college, the jobs were good, definitely, but it was not something I was not very sure about it. Ki, हाँ, I'll be doing analytics for so many years. And at that time, there was this point ki, I didn't understand the importance of analytics that would be there in near future. Right now, I know that analytics is very important, but I don't regret not taking up a job. And so and definitely it was very hard to pick up MBA rather than data science, because data when I graduated, and still it's one of the most booming fields, and it's the most up and coming term, and it's going to be there for the next 10 years. So for me, but the thing was that I had studied statistics for 3 years. So I was somewhere in that, I was in a zone ki, haan bhai, I've studied a lot of statistics. I don't think I can go on studying the same thing probably for another 2 years. I want to learn something, and something that I can apply properly directly, something of that sort. And also probably it was the post structure back in college. Just thoda sa, I was like, where am I going to apply this statistics? Where am I going to apply whatever I've learned? So all these things kind of push me towards getting something which is a lot more practical. And I'm not saying that statistics is not practical. It definitely is, but something that I could see myself doing for like for another 2 years. I couldn't see myself studying statistics. And another thing was I had brothers who've already cracked CAT. They were I have a brother who passed out from IFT. I had friends who were in IIMs. So I already knew what is going on. तो वो मेरे दिमाग में पहले से ही था कि I might end up giving an MBA. Then my father, I was born into a business family. That was also another thing that I took into consideration. Then so mainly यही था criteria. And then one major thing was I always liked economics as a subject. So even in graduation, I had economics as a subject, even though I majored in statistics, because my college did not allow BSc degree, uh, did not allow a science student to major in economics. So economics was also another option, but that's it. That's something that I'd like to tell everyone, the incoming batch of people, even who are in college right now, that explore your options, talk to as many people as you can, understand what will be there once you enter a college or once you enter a field. So I had done that properly, even though I wasn't like studying, yeah, I wasn't focused academically so much in college, but I had done my fair deal of research in the sense that I would talk to my teachers as well. I talk to them key economics. If I go for a master's in economics, what is something that I can like what should I expect right now if I go into a master's for economics? And they told me that it'll be heavily math oriented. It's theoretical. It's as so and so. You'll have to do this and that. So I was kind of in this zone ki, haan, theek hai. I know what each of these options hold for me, and that's how I decided that I should go for an MBA.
So Meda, I have one question for you. So Meda, you are coming from, so
Sorry, sir, your voice cracked.
Yeah. So Mida, I was asking.
Meda, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Meda, you are coming from a Delhi University. So where people can like Delhi University, people get the job easily. So why you
Decided
do MBA just after your
Uh, so
Uh,
just like just like Caesar, exactly that's what happened with me also. So I talked to people. I had friends who were who decided to pursue analytics, who were doing preparing themselves, trying courses and everything. So I interacted them, talked to them in detail about the prospects and everything, what they wanted to do, and what were the reasons. And I even since in our college we had economics majors also, so I even talked to a professor who was in the economics major department also about the prospect of pursuing the masters. And like I considered the options, and so I didn't I didn't find myself going into the analytics, like about the skills and everything. Like they already had uh, prepared themselves a lot over the 3 years, and I was completely new to it. And in the economics, I realized that this was only a part of something I liked, and not something I want to pursue completely. So in that way, I eliminated my options, and finally came that okay, the MBA is something I want to do.
So I think that's a good strategy. Both of you followed. One was to first evaluate your options. Second was eliminating the options, which we've seen helps in CAT also. Sometimes you understand that these options won't work for me, so the one that's left is the answer. So that's actually a very good way of understanding where you want to be. Fair enough. So now that we've discussed CAT, comes the next part, GDPI. And like Steve said, I was focusing solely on CAT and getting a good score. But to get into a good B school, GDPI is important. So how much weightage would you give to GDPI preparation compared to CAT preparation? And did you start right away? Did you start after CAT, or you knew at the back of your mind कि GDPI तो हो जाएगा, उसकी तैयारी की जरूरत नहीं है? What was going on, and how did you prepare for it?
So I'd like to go ahead with this. So even though after scoring 98.6, I had a decent shot because at IIM Kozhikode because of my
Mhm.
diversity.
Mhm.
So, but I totally fluffed it. Like
Mhm.
I couldn't do what I. And the main reason was, as I mentioned earlier, I was solely focused on acing CAT, and I burnt myself out completely.
Mhm.
And so after that, I was in that zone. कि हाँ GDPI तो हो जाएगा. Like what will they ask? They'll ask about me. I know stuff about me. I'll be able to answer. But
Mhm.
once you start giving mock interviews and once you actually interact with people who are doing the same thing, who are preparing for a GDPI rounds, you'll understand where you are standing and like how much you're lacking when it comes to comparing yourself with your competition. And so this time what happened is I was sure ki haan, CAT is just half of it. You have to prepare for your GDPI. So the moment I got done with it, I spoke to people and I landed up on Prep Zone's uh, webpage. There I put in my information. That night itself, I think Shubham sir called me. Baat hui. He told me how it will go ahead. And even this time also, I wouldn't say that I was perfect. Even this time, I'm sure Prashant sir knows this also, ki I was again lacking in my preparation. But the thing is, this time I knew so many people who were preparing because of that group, WhatsApp group. And I spoke, Prashant sir used to like call me. He called me up once. He was like, what are you doing? Why are you not preparing? So someone's pushing you constantly. And just knowing that so many people are preparing and I'm lagging behind like anything, that is what motivated me. So as soon as I got my Calcutta call, I was like, "Ki, up to time, it's high time that I start preparing." And with the guidance of every mentor that I had, I was able to do well.
All right. So that's like a 50-50 weightage
Yeah,
to
definitely.
CAT and GDPI. Yeah. You said that and you pointed that out. People think that they know about themselves, and interview will be questions like about you. But there's an aspect and a direction which you need to have so that you give the answers in those contexts. You need to understand that context very well. And without preparation, I feel that you cannot justify your answers because you need to have that clarity and you need to have that thought process which the professors are looking for to select you. So, and the competition is now much more because earlier you were competing with like 2 lakh students, but now it's been boiled down to say 2,000 people and the top 2,000. So the competition is even more. So you need to have that mindset and you need to understand what you're against and where you need to go. So that definitely is really important. So Pragya, how did you go about your GDPR preparation?
So when I failed at my first attempt, I still had calls from SPGen and XLRI, but I managed to screw them up both. So I was very well aware, like it was also due to the low percentile, but also due to not so good the interviews I gave. So I very well knew that okay, I'm not done yet, so I have to study for next 3-4 hours, 3-4 months. And so I started looking for options I had. And then right away, since prep zone was giving a like very head start way before the CAT results were out, so this course was already started. So I had a call with Shubham sir, and then he discussed all the options with me and the possible calls I could have based on the score I had and everything. So when the batch started, everyone I felt around me was so well prepared. The best of the best you are competing with now. And so I called Shubham sir and Prashant sir both ki okay, all the daily assignments, I don't feel that what I'm preparing, I'm able to match up with the other students. So I sent my daily assignments for 2-3 days, like to both of them, and then say, okay, you can go with this. And even if you say stupid things in group, both of them said me the same things, then also it doesn't matter. And that gave me confidence. And I was layman in current affairs, economics, and everything. And the huge group we had and the variety of students, it helped me a lot. So, and the best thing was I kept that group opened all the day on my phone. So even if I'm not studying, I'm doing my office work, so that I'm seeing something or the other coming up, reading something. That helped me. Then right before, then I, in between there came a time like I was all exhausted. So CAT, then this. So SPGen was my first interview and I was not taking it seriously at all. So Prashant sir called me and it was like, okay, girl, why are you not doing it? It is your first interview and everything. So I gave a group interview and everything went through the process. I converted that call. Fortunately, like I converted the first group interview and then you go for the second round. It went well. And then going forward, I gave a lot of mocks. My mentor was Raju sir. So I managed to do good at these current affairs, finance, and every stuff. Then HR was where I was lacking. So my mentor was Raju sir. He helped me like in 2 interviews, he just banged me down for 30 continuous minutes. I was grilled end to end. You don't know anything about yourself. You don't know anything. And then next few hours, like along many days, he gave me like he put my story in my words. Okay, this is who you are. You just don't need any fancy words or anything. Just be confident, speak who you are, and you will get there. And it's okay not to have any hobbies or anything. And then right before my C interview, one night before, I had a call with Shubham sir. So he grilled me for continuous 50 to 55 minutes on all the topics, be it maths, be it CADS, WorkX, HR, everything. And then he's like, okay, you have your interview tomorrow. You are grilled enough. And then he like motivated me and gave me pointers. This, we'll follow the structure tomorrow and you'll do well. And that happened also. My C interview went very smooth. And right after, like I had interviews two in one day, like A and L and then B. And so yeah, and then B interview went again the same way the interview with Shivam sir went. So while it was like they all four panelists I have and they were on me, so but I was like used to it already.
Yeah, you were prepared for it.
Yeah, so that although I did not get into the PGP of IIM Bangalore, I managed to for the business analytics one. So maybe that some, as Steve said, someone pushing you and also getting acquainted to a lot of different scenarios just at least puts you in a very confident position, even though they can ask a out of blue question in the interview, but then at least you are when you start the interview you are confident that okay, I have prepared enough and I can handle it for the next 20-25 minutes. So
Yeah,
maybe the structure of the entire curriculum of Prep Zone was like flawless.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
when we say GD and PI, you put up a lot of topics. So those all are important. It's not just about you. It's about your knowledge of the world and your knowledge of the things around you. So that's really very important. And what we've seen that during CAT preparation, these things take a backseat.
Yeah.
So then you have a lot of preparation to do to understand what's been going around, what's been the past 6 months, what the world been doing. And see, these colleges, they're picking students and grooming them for leadership roles, CEO roles. So they need to understand the world at a very macro level as well as a micro level. So at a micro level, you gain from your work experience, you understand how a company works. But at a macro level, you need to understand how companies are run. So that becomes very important to understand that what decisions are taken, why they're taken, and the group which you are a part of helps you to understand that. They bring in those worldviews, and then there are experts and mentors who help you understand the different scenarios that are going on in the country, the situations, the on ground situations, and you get to understand, have a balanced viewpoint, which I feel is very important. Sometimes you go in with your biases and you realize that, okay, the other person, what he's coming from, that's not wrong. What he's saying is also correct. So you then form that balanced viewpoint, and that definitely helps you in your GD and PI, and that's what the professors are also looking for. So, Meda, I remember your interview, and so would you like to share your experiences?
So yeah, I started my GDPI prep after CAT only, and
Uh,
as you know, I had my mock with Shubham sir and you, and it was like completely terrible and a complete disaster. So, but yeah, it was a reality check, and it helped me really. Like your Shubham sir and your feedback, like he after you took my mock, and then he called me immediately and said, "What are you doing?" and everything again and again, because it was third mock with you, I guess. So first one he took the in the first mock I got completely blank, like because I was really nervous. It was my first interview ever. So the things I knew, even that I could not answer properly, and the others, so I wasn't prepared only. So when I had mock with you, you grilled me, and then I could not answer anything. So he called me and said, "What are you doing?" and everything. But then he told me like, how should I answer? Like, uh, I knew my thing, like, but I could not put it in right words and express it nicely. But so he told me how to do that, like a frame and answer, gave me ideas. So the detailed feedback by each mentor really helped me. And like with every mock, I got a detailed feedback, and each little feedback I used to note it down and cover it like. And I would see it before my interview, like, okay, this should do, this shouldn't I do, like it really helped me. So
mhm.
in applying also, so it goes into your subconscious mind, like this is the pattern, okay, you have to go like that if something like that happens. And other than preparing for the current affairs and everything, the group was really amazing. Like if you didn't know anything, like something was going on, I was like, okay, what is this? I started searching and knowing about that. So, and the best part was that it was a continuous process till the end of the interviews. Okay,
Mhm.
I could like I can say very clearly, like there was a big difference in my first and last interview, because since it was a continuous process, we got to know each and every day, learn every day, and that was really nice.
So from what I'm listening here, like these these PIs, these mock PIs, these are again like mocks. You give a lot of mocks, you understand what's working for you, and keep on taking mocks. So people take that make that mistake. They think that हो जाएगा यार एक दो interview देके they think कि नहीं I'm done. But the thing is that as many mocks you give, the more prepared you are for your interviews, and you don't know what can be asked. So the different people you interact with, and you understand what all questions can come up, and then you share your experiences, you read up a lot of experiences of other people also. And Steve and Pragya had that slight advantage, I would say. They had given interviews earlier, so that helped. But for a fresher, Mera, you, like you said, your mock was your first interview ever, and people, they do go blank. They don't realize what they need to say. They have all the answers prepared, but then it comes back after the interview that, okay, that's what I wanted to say. So those mocks help you shed your inhibitions, and they help you make your point clear and make you get your point across. So that's really really important, and that's, I would say, an extension of your RCs, where you understand what the author is trying to say and what you're grasping, and then what you're answering back. So that's very important. So you guys have spoken that how prep zone help you, how different interviews help you, but anything else you would like to add specific to prep zone, that why should one pick up prep zone, or how prep zone has been helpful for you guys, be it CAD, be it GDPI?
I was there with Prep Zone only for GDPR. But the
Mhm.
main and something that's very important, and I forgot to mention it, it's the fact that Prep Zone gives you a head start. And Pragya
Mhm.
mentioned it, and that's when it came to me that it's one of the most important things that any candidate should look at. Because when you look at other institutes, they started their GDPI preparation very late into 2021. Had I started then, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have converted any of that I have converted. And the reason being key for the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're not even in that zone ki I'm falling behind, I'm lagging behind, I need to prepare. But in prep zone, since it started right after CAT, by the time it got to 21, by the time my interviews were closing up, मेरे को पता था कि now I'm lagging behind, I need to work hard. You already know what's going around and you're already in that zone of preparation. So that helps important.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, I would like to add on to this is the diverse mentors and the peers that Prep Zone gives you. Like both of them, you need. You need your peer. Like for me, it helped to have a good peer group and like looking at what everybody's studying. They are helping you out. You are helping them out, and everyone is motivating everybody. So that is a constant push, and also the diverse amount of mentors we have at Prep Zone, so that also gives you different types of constructive feedbacks, which are very necessary because you don't know what the panelist or the examiner who's coming to you with what kind of question. So that gives you different point of views to a particular thing, and that really helps to broaden the perspective. And also, like, they are very much inclined to groom every student personally. So, and that is very much necessary because this is not a one day game. So it's a long run, and you have to be constantly sincerely dedicated and being motivated throughout. So I guess these are the things which gives Prep Zone a way ahead for any aspirant to join.
And so the mentor part is it's very important to note that I was not mentored by just one of you. Like I had so many mentors. I remember I cleared my statistics doubts from Arjun sir. Luke sir took my first interview. Prashant sir kept motivating me. I had an interview with you, and you actually like it was kind of like a key. It shook me up. Then Prashant sir ke saath again I had another interview. So the thing is that you could approach a lot of mentors. There were so many mentors and it was transparent. You didn't have to wait for anything. You can just go to the Excel sheet, you can look at the number, you can see the calls that they had and the calls that they can help you with, and then you can approach them. It was very easy in that sense. So that also was really helpful.
No, Steve, you rightly pointed out, like we are also, so I'd like you to know that we are assigned some mentors, but when we take PIs, nobody actually shies away from actually answering your doubts. Nobody says that go back to your mentor and clear that from them, because we feel that we have a part in every student's preparation, and we are actually responsible for your success and to set you up for that success. So that's, I believe, is what I associate the most with PrepZone, that you can reach out to any one of us, and with different profiles that helps you a lot. So that's a very big advantage that PrepZone provides.
One thing I have to add here, when we were assigning mentors, so when Steve name came, then it was the most difficult task for us, because when I asked him to share his syllabus, what he has studied in like 3 years. So if you go through his syllabus, it will be almost a copy of the like QT, that quantitative technique that we are going to study in MBA. So be aware of him, because he knows everything before even entering the class. That whatever things you are going to study, he has already completed in his 3 years.
Yeah,
So
Steve will have
I
a
have
very,
gone
very
through.
good edge.
Sir, exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine that if a mentor is actually going through your syllabus that you studied in your graduation to tell you what can they ask you in your interview. That itself is very like that grooming is on a much different level than you would expect normally.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Actually, that gave me like, that reminded me what all things I have studied in my MBA first 2 terms. So that was exact replica of what you are going to study. So if you want to know what you are going to study, just take his syllabus and just go through it. So he has that already.
Yeah, stats, especially stats. Stats name, I mean, it screwed me up like anything, because it's very intense. It's in depth. So Steve, you'll be able to help a lot of your batchmates. I can tell you
Yeah.
that. So guys, any advice that you want to give to the incoming batches? Anything, though we have discussed a lot and there's been a lot of advices we have already, but something, anything which we've not discussed probably.
So I'd like to touch upon this, but I don't know, it works for different in different ways. But for me, I remember my first and second attempts were significantly different because I was in my first attempt, I was putting everything on that one paper one day. And during my second attempt, I knew more about it. Ki that day something can go wrong on that day. So definitely that is something that you need to take into consideration. So don't like put everything out, put all your expectations on one day. Just calm down a little bit. That is something that every CAT aspirant should uh, definitely like they should take into consideration. Another thing was back when I was preparing, I remember in my first attempt, every YouTube video that you look at, people who were scoring very high percentiles were already very good at it. They were not people who had to work to like from a very low level. Keep in my first mock, I don't think I scored more than 70%. I remember I was scoring poorly in quant and LRDI. My only savior was VARC because I intuitively I was good at that. But so you need to understand that it's a process. If you give effort, if you're willing to work hard, you'll definitely reach that level. So that is something that they all have to understand, because I know I'm still talking to people who are studying. I'm not a mentor per se, but I help them out. So I know a lot of people and they're all worried that, oh, this guy is scoring so much, or this guy in his first mock he scored such a high score, how can I ever reach that? So they forget that it's just they, these people have already put in the hard work during their JE preparation or after 12th or even during engineering. And since we lack that hard work, we need to put all that hard work now. So that is something that I feel every aspirant should understand before they start preparing for CAT.
No, fair, very good point, Steve. That people think that yeah, I'm not that capable or I won't be able to do it, but they don't realize that people have that hard work behind them, which is why they're scoring well. Very well said. And you need to put in that hard work. Either at any point of time, you will have to work hard. Without hard work, you cannot get that result. So either after your engineering or your undergrad or during your undergrad, at one point of time, you have to make that happen. Only then you can reach that level, and you too can reach that level. That self belief is really important. Yeah. So
Yeah,
guys,
so I,
yeah.
yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. I was moving on,
Yeah,
but go
so
ahead.
I just wanted to add a point for the people who are working and studying side by side. It gets a bit hectic because you are sometimes putting, and especially in these work from home conditions, 10 to 12 hours a day. So it's very important that you study every day. Like even if it's for 1 hour at least, you do something and then you compensate it with the weekends. But when you go only for the weekends, you like break the flow. And that, and second thing is put like a lot of people will tell you analyze, but how to do that analysis? So I made proper spreadsheets for every sectionals, every mocks that I was giving, and I had the numbers right in front of me. So when I had given like 10, 12 mocks or sectionals, and when you actually see the numbers, oh shit, this is going wrong and this is where I need to work. So that also gives you a push and like pinpoints where you need to work. And that minimizes the time. Smart work and hard work have to go in hand, and this can work a lot for the people who are working just to keep the consistency over the time and not rely on weekends.
Absolutely. Consistency, I mean, it's like compound interest. It keeps on adding.
Yeah.
So every day you put in the works and you'll see the results after some point of time.
Yeah.
They'll just keep on adding. So very well said, guys, and thank you for all the advice that you've given to us and to the future aspirants. So with that, like I would like to ask you now, what's the plan?
So going ahead till this starts, I've been talking to mentors, people who are studying in Calcutta. They told me that I don't know if this is something that's recurring. This advice, you need to relax, chill, because once MBA starts, you're not going to get the time to do that. So just if you, obviously it's very hard for us to relax right now.
Mhm.
I know it from personal experience. I can't relax right now. So they like work on something that thoda continue working on stuff. So I'm probably going to work on MS Office, improve my skills in Excel and PowerPoint. That's what I'm planning
Mhm.
on doing, and brush up on statistics because that's a subject that it's not very hard for me, and economics. So these things, because I don't have to put in a lot of effort. I enjoy studying these subjects, so it's easy for me. So I'm not going to take too much effort, but still stay in touch and stay productive.
What about you, Medha, Pragya?
Yeah, so like I completely agree with Steve. Like I have my senior in Calcutta. He said me the same thing. He's like, just chill for a week or some 15 days, and then you won't have time for anything. So just take some time, and then I'll tell you. But just he didn't tell me. He said, just chill, okay? You should take this time for you at least now for now. So yeah, let's see what
Yeah.
happens preparing.
So I remember when I had converted, I put in my papers and I was on notice period. So that's the time when I met my future wife. So relax, and you won't get time. That's true. For the first couple of semesters, it will be a blur. Things will go by so fast, so quickly that you not know where time went. And but that will be the fun of it. You won't be alone. There will be people around you in the same boat, so you'll be helping each other out, and that's the beauty of Joka. I mean, competition is there definitely, but there's a spirit and there's a sense of bonding amongst the batchmates and the seniors and juniors as well, which I personally feel that is missing at other B schools. That's a very big advantage, not just in college but in future also, that the senior batches are very forthcoming, and you can ask them at any point of time, at any time of the day. You can just go up to them and ask for their help and they won't say no. So that's really important, and that helps a lot. So don't worry, you won't be alone in this. And like they say, for Liverpool, you never walk alone. So for Calcutta, the motto is we leave no one behind. So don't worry, and there will be people, and there will be a support. There will be a support system for you, and even your teachers. In fact, you can just go to any teacher if you're struggling, or if you're having any sort of problems. You can discuss with anybody. Take that from me, and just enjoy this time. So yeah, all the best and good luck.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for joining, and I'll just switch off the recording.